Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 2, week 3, ending May 3rd, 2019. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm just sharing my stock journey. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. My mission is to become a great CanSlim growth stock investor. I want to see if I can reach my goal of $200,000 in year 2. And I'm going to focus on stock selection, buying, and managing my portfolio. I'm also going to continue to practice and refine my sell rules. I'm going to get my stock ideas from the mini charts in the IBD weekly paper. I look at the IBD 50 list, the Big Cap 20 list, the IBD sector leaders, and the IPO leaders. Plus, I review these on Stock Doctor. I'm going to try and limit my watch list to 20 stocks. This is a real challenge for me right now, but I do want to find the best of the best and then compare stocks against one another to weed out the weaker ones and just really have the best in my watch list. So far, my buy rules are focusing on buying at the right time at the pivot point, and then I'm going to pyramid into my positions with 3 buys. One buy of $10,000 worth, that's my 50%, my first buy. My second buy is going to be 30% or 6K, and my third buy is going to be 20% of the position or 4,000. So when I'm done with everything, I'll have $20,000 invested in each stock, and I'm hoping to hold between 5 and 7 stocks. The market is in a confirmed uptrend according to the IBD, which means it's an okay time to be buying stocks. Several weeks ago, I had drawn these blue lines that indicate areas where I thought was resistance, and I wanted to see the market, the S&P 500, move above those points. Currently, the market is above that 2912, which is the highest area of resistance that I had identified. This is the VIX, or the volatility index, and personally, I like to see it below 16. It did get close to that on 5/2. It had a high of 1592, but it did drop back down. So for now, the VIX is behaving. I did sell 2 stocks this week and made 1 purchase. At the end of week 3, year 2, I have a balance of $22,947. My options this week for spending money are to buy a second purchase of HEXO, or a third purchase of Coupa or HEXO, and that will depend how these stocks are performing, or I could pick a new stock. This is a sold holdings bar chart. Each bar represents 1 week. So ADP I had held for 7 weeks, and Google I had held for 3 weeks. There's a yellow line at 9,200, which is the 8% loss. I don't want my losses to be greater than 8%. And the $10,000 dash line is my approximate purchase price. So Google had started off just about even. It had gone up 3% and then it dropped down. I probably bought Google too close to its earnings. I did have 2 buys in this. My first one I had held for 10 days and lost 4%. And my second one I had held for 6 days and lost 6%. ADP, I held this stock for just over 11 weeks and I have a gain of 7.8%. This is my current holdings bar chart, and I've ranked them in order of weakest to strongest based on what I think the chart action is showing. ACN, I fully expect this stock to sell on Monday. It did drop on Friday. Number 1 shows that it went down very close to its 28-day exponential moving average, which is that dash blue line. And number 2 is showing that it was in high volume. It did have 2 down days in high volume there. I've held this one for just about 5 weeks and it's up 0.7%. HEXO, I like the uptick in volume from this. It went from none down by number 1 to a ton, number 2 and 3. You can see how that volume increased. I've held this stock for just under a week and it's down 3%. TWLO, I've held the stock for 5 weeks and it's up just about 3%. If I had a stop loss order on this stock, it would have triggered a sell by that number 1 when it dropped below my dash yellow line floor. But since I have a tight window in there, I have a stop limit order where I just have like a 20-cent range where it will trigger a sell. It opened below that, so it didn't trigger that sell. Once it did that, I went ahead and put that floor back at my 8%. There wasn't any bad news in this earnings report, and so I wasn't quite sure why this stock dropped like it did. So I just gave it a couple weeks to get back to normal. Coupa, I have 2 buys in this stock. One of them I've held for 6 days and it's up 3%, and the other one I've held for 5 days and it's up 0.7%. And I am using that dash yellow line at the 28-day exponential moving average to manage both my buy 1 and my buy 2. 5 below, I have 3 buys in this. My first one I've held for 15 days and it's up just about 8%. The second one I've held for 14 days and it's up 5.3%. And the third buy I've held for 9 days and it's up 2.4%. And I am keeping my floor at my 28-day exponential moving average, and it is slightly above my first buy point. Ollie, I've held the stock for 20 days and it's up 7.3%. I did raise my floor up to that 28-day exponential moving average. ATR, I've held the stock for 24 days and it's up 6%. This stock is moving up nicely, and it's just moved up to the pivot point it reached last September. So it's just about making a new high that it had last reached September 18th, 2018. And it also has 3 days there of nice up above average volume. CyberArk, I've held this stock for 38 days and it's up 15.7%. And I'm keeping my floor. I raised it up. I'm using the 50-day simple moving average for this stock. This is the dollar gain for my current holdings, and I sort these by the lowest value on the top, thinking if I take care of my losers, that my winners will take care of themselves. So HEXO is the only loser that I have here. I've lost $301 in that. And down at the bottom, CyberArk is my big winner there with 1,556. And this is the percentage change of my holdings for the week. Again, sorted with the lowest value on the top and the highest value on the bottom. 3 stocks did really awful this week: HEXO, TW, LO, and ACN. At the end of week 3, year 2, in my $100,000 stock experiment, I've made 23% versus the S&P 500 of 10.9%. Here's the industry and sector breakdown for the week ending 5/3. Note that in software I have 2 buys in Coupa, so you'll see a bigger square representing that holding than I have in TWLO and CyberArk. And also I have my 3 buys into 5. So in the retail sector, you can see that I have twice as much 5 as I do of Ollie. Here's a weekly tracker. I'm just really not making any progress. I would like to see a slugger here, which I don't have, and my average gain is $480, which I would like to see that go up as well. On the week ending 5/3, it is showing that I have 11 stocks because it is counting my buy 2s and my buy 3. So I have 8 stocks, but I have 2 buy 2s and 1 buy 3. And my sells, I did sell 1 stock for a gain and 1 stock for a loss. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode. For those of you who haven't been watching my series, here's my basic premise. When I started my year 1, my start date was April 13, 2018 with $100,000 to invest. My goal was to double my money in 1 year, which I didn't make. And I focused on practicing and developing my sell rules, which I'm really happy with how my sell rules have come out. And I was trading in my Roth IRA. I have free trades and no tax implications. My sell rules at the end of year 1, I'm using a stop limit order at my floor. So the floor is 8% when I first purchased the stock, 8% below the purchase price. And then each week I evaluate it and I move it up. And the two areas that I like to move it to are the 28-day exponential moving average or the 50-day simple moving average. And my floor, my rule was that I can move it up, but I can't move it down. And I do like my stocks to consistently be gaining a minimum of 0.5% a week.